Two really weird little lies about President Joe Biden went viral this past weekend among some conservatives on Twitter. The first of these lies was that the remains of the final U.S. troops killed in Afghanistan had been returned to a U.S. military base, and nobody from the Biden administration had shown up to honor them. This claim was tweeted by a Republican congressional candidate, among others. It was amplified by a Fox News host, among others. It was complete nonsense. These tweets were tweeted on Saturday night, hours before the remains of the troops actually arrived at Dover Air Force Base. When they did land shortly after 8 a.m. on Sunday, President Joe Biden, First Lady Jill Biden, the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, and numerous other Biden administration officials were there for the dignified transfer. The other weird lie was that President Biden fell asleep during a White House meeting last week with Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. Now, the video shows this, again, just did not happen. The video shows that President Biden did drop his head and keep it there right after Prime Minister Bennett made reference to that week's difficult days, presumably a reference to what had happened in Afghanistan. But President Biden kept moving his hands the whole time. In other words, he was clearly awake. And what a lot of the viral tweets cut out was that President Biden responded immediately and appropriately right after Prime Minister Bennett stopped talking. Take a watch.
Thank you, Mr. President. I look forward to working with you now and for many years forward. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And you give me credit, much of which should go to Barack Obama.
Once again, this was a whole bunch of nonsense. John and Caitlin?
There is lying and spreading misinformation, and then there is lying and spreading misinformation about fallen soldiers while their parents have just found out in the hours before that they have died in action.
Yeah, it's appalling. But it's also, I'm sad to say, not surprising. There have been no consequences for lying, whether that's as a president, President Trump, elected officials, members of the right-wing media. There are no consequences. There is, in fact, safe harbor for doing so. And lots of people who find conspiracy theories and lies to be more comforting than facts and the truth. So, I mean, there's blame to go around. But if you are a part of the media, and I'm looking at you, Fox News, and you are not fact-checking Laura Ingraham, you are not fact-checking your hosts and your anchors and your reporters, you are the problem.